What's up, beautiful people? My name is Derek Standifer, aka Ayana's daddy, aka Derek Jr.'s papa, aka my parents' son. And I have the honor, the privilege, and the pleasure of interviewing Miss Ebony Payne, representing Black on Black Rhyme Jacksonville, representing Black on Black Rhyme International, a dope individual. Man, it's an honor to have you on. Thank you for agreeing to do the interview, Queen. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the top of my heart to the bottom of my soul. Thank you.
I'm
How are you?
blessed to be here. I'm well. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Honored to be here.
Yeah. So I already knew you were gonna, you're the best dressed person I know. I already knew. So I had to flip through the closet and find something that can match your level of
Whatever.
I
You
had to.
look very fly though. You look very fly.
Let me make this public. And we good to go. All right. So here on Solving Sundays, we juxtapose solving the Rubik's Cube. That's the baby girl.
Yes.
Mom might pop in here anytime now. You never know. Yeah, hey, you about to have a birthday. Happy early birthday. Happy revolution around the sun.
Say thank you.
Yeah. So here on Solving Sundays, we juxtapose solving the Rubik's Cube to solving life. And I like to bring on movers, doers, shakers in the community, people who are using their life's purpose to make an impact on the community. Uh, Perfect guest who follows that mission, follows that path. So first question is you wear a lot of hats, Evan. You're a poet, you are a community activist. It's a lot of hats that you wear. What's your passion? What wakes you up every day?
Um, my see, I have multiple passions, but they're all tied into poetry. They all go back to poetry. Everything that I do, all the hats that I wear, they all the vehicle that they travel in is poetry. So I would say poetry is my passion.
Yeah, and we share this common passion, and I know we both have a love and an infatuation with Black on Black Rhyme
Yes.
because of the principles that Black on Black Rhyme has bestowed upon us, and being a
Yes.
servant through our words. I remember Keith Rogers once saying that when I'm out in public, he's there, he's giving himself away. So
All
I
of
see that in
that.
you daily, all the time since I've been knowing you. I've been seeing that in you. So thank you for that mission, thank you for that drive, thank you for that energy that you're pushing out into the world. I'm sure Jacksonville is thankful to have you. So, the first step of solving is to believe that you're a poet. But can we get some background information about how you got into writing? I want to start from that. Got into writing.
So when I was little, I have five brothers and sisters, and the oldest, I have one little brother. So the oldest four, they would make this joke and tell me I was adopted. And they would go into like my parents' closet and pretend to be like rummaging through the top shelf for paperwork and show me a piece of paper and say, "See, it says it right here. This is your adoption certificate. You're adopted." But I couldn't read. I was too young, and I couldn't read. So I taught myself to read when I was 4 years old. And the reason I wanted to learn to read so bad was because I wanted to know what the paper said. I wanted to know if I was really adopted, which is crazy because I look just like my daddy. It's ridiculous. We're twins. But I thought I was adopted, so whatever. So all of the books, the early reader books, they rhyme. And so I thought that when you wrote things down, it was supposed to rhyme. And that's how I started writing poems, essentially, is that everything that I wrote down on paper would rhyme. And so poetry, I always tell people poetry chose me. I didn't choose poetry. When I started reading and writing, it came out in rhyme. And I've been a poet ever since. I've been writing and performing poetry since my first performance of poetry was when I was 5 years old.
So, there's a story about Tiger Woods picking up a golf course at 3. Malcolm Gladwell, he wrote a book called The Outliers. And in it, he mentioned how people dedicate 10,000 hours to mastering their skills and their craft. And you've been doing this since you were 4 years old, like a baby. So definitely it chose you. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now the second step, after we believe, the second step of solving the Rubik's Cube is to solve our cross. Now, solving our cross means to examine our why. What's your reasons? Why are you this activist that you are? You use your poetry to eradicate the isms, all the isms, sexism, racism, ages, all the isms. I just know your causes. So what's your why? What is the reason for you being Ebony Payne?
I struggled with childhood depression, adolescent depression. I tried to kill myself when I was 10 years old. Um, and what I remember the most is the overwhelming feeling of nobody understands. Nobody on this world understands what's happening inside of my body, or my mind. And it felt very lonely. I didn't even know how to explain it really to people, what I was dealing with or why I was so sad. But I just remember being very sensitive. I've always been very sensitive and impacted by the world around me, by what was happening. And a lot of the things that were happening were very um, just triggering for me. And I didn't know why. I know now that I have, well, in therapy, I found out that I just had strong empathetic aspects about my personality. So I internalize a lot. Give me just a minute. Ozzy Rose, will you take that in the room, please? Will you take that in the room? Thank you so
It's
much.
so crazy. Our kids, our babies, they don't want our attention. They don't bother us until we busy. But
Listen.
they don't want to bother us.
Listen. She don't even want to bother me. She just want to be in the room because I'm busy.
Like, mama busy, time to go. Time to go.
I'm gonna come in here and play because she seemed like she's doing something. But yeah, so like, the reason why I have chosen the career for myself is because I feel like I can help someone feel less alone in the world. The reason why I write the kind of poems that I write, is so that someone will never kill themselves because they feel like no one has been through what they've been through, or no one could understand the kind of trauma that they've endured and survived. Like sometimes the trauma is being a survivor. Sometimes that is the trauma. It's like going through survivor's remorse is what they call it. You know what I'm saying? It's going through some stuff that the people you know did not survive, but you did, and wondering why. So that's my why is because the human experience is a collaborative journey, and we've been led to believe as a society that you're on your own, and that there's just no way that can be sustainable in the sense of nature. Like just in nature, everything operates on an algorithm, and we're all working cooperatively with that algorithm. So just because we're humans doesn't mean that we get to separate or disconnect and think that everything's going to be fine. I think the fact that even the issue with global warming is a result of us feeling like we can separate ourselves from the natural algorithm of things. And us doing that has completely messed it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're interrupting every other thing on the planet because of our separation. So connectivity and cooperation, that's my why.
What's crazy, you said that a lot of humans think that it's just them and their cells and in a one man army type ordeal. But we are social beings. We can't survive without other people being in our presence. It's impossible to survive. And we do need to acknowledge our oneness with the earth and with the planet. We like small pixels in a bigger picture. We all interconnected and everything affects everything. So thank you for that. Another point you mentioned, I share this all the time that writing, as black and black rhyme artists, we often say that black poetry and black and black rhyme saved our lives because what inspires the words are painful. It's our way of turning that pain into power. A lot of times I'm writing my poems and my pages are stained with teardrops. And it's people don't understand that. We get on stage and we get the claps and the applauses, but people don't know what it took to get that out. And in getting it out, like you said, we could have saved someone's life. Somebody was going through some similar trials and tribulations, and that is why it's very important for us to tell our testimony. Everybody go through tests, and some people don't know how to deal with the test until they hear somebody else's testimony. And with poets, we have a way of forming words and putting words together that gives other people that courage and that strength to prevail and to push through. So thank you so much for that, from the top of my heart to the bottom of my soul. All right.
It's an honor.
Step 3 of solving the Rubik's Cube. Step 3 of solving life is to fill in your corners. Now, filling in your corners means to surround yourself with people who will push you and motivate you to be the best version of yourself. Right now we're practicing social distancing because of COVID or whatnot, but we need to practice social distancing for people who are not healthy for us and who's not conducive to our growth and our progression as human beings and human becomings. So, What kind of environment do you surround yourself in? What kind of friends do you have? What kind of music do you listen to? How do you feed your mental, your spirit, and your physical? Oh Lord, Ebony got that 2G network right now. That's a dope picture right there, though. If we can take that picture right there, that'll be a dope picture. So y'all, we have Ebony Payne is on Solve It Sundays, and since I joined Black on Black Rhyme, I've been in awe of her. I've seen her perform countless number of times, and it's always a captivating experience. Southern Fries, she's always at Southern Fries and doing her thing, and that's the competition version of it. But we also have open mics where we come in and we share that love and that energy and that passion that we have for sharing our words, and like she said, allowing other people to hear our stories so we can too save them. Yeah, waiting on Miss Payne to get back situated. From the top of my heart to the bottom of my soul, for those who watch Salvation Sundays, I thank y'all for tuning in. This is a brainchild of mine, and I wanted to kind of keep it going. And we interview people so people can hear how other people have solved the twists and turns of life. And we've had individuals like Ebony on, and I know for me, I wanted to emulate people who are doers and movers and shakers in the community. And we need young people looking up to doers and movers and shakers so they too can make a positive impact on the community in which they reside. We're gonna give it a little hot second. So the part that we're on now is filling in your corners. Now, filling in your corners, it's several processes to that. One, what kind of environment do you immerse yourself in? That's the job that you work at. That's where you live. That's what you feed your brain. Uh, Too many times, I think we're in a world where we have these smartphones, right? And these smartphones don't make us smarter. That's ironic. A lot of times, if you look at the screen time app on your phone, a lot of times people spend more time entertaining themselves more than we do educating ourselves, and that can't be the formula if we plan on being successful. I think about I'm watching right now. Y'all didn't tell me about Underground. Underground is absolutely phenomenal, and I think about how these people are fighting for their freedom, right? And what if they had resources? What if they had access to the resources that we have access to now? What if they had smartphones and the internet and YouTube University? How would they pursue knowledge with a dying tenacity that no one can match? It's crazy what they had to endure just to reach freedom. And a lot of people associated being educated with being freedom. So we can always make it a mission to grow and develop and fill our corners with positive influences. In addition, we got to feed our mental and our spirit. We believe in taking baths every single day, right? Everybody believe in taking baths on a daily basis. And we don't make it a mission to clean our brains out. I'm a big believer. I can't watch the news. It's negative. I know I'm supposed to be updated on current events, but it's negative. I'm tired of looking at the news and seeing people of color being incarcerated, thrown in jail, and wars and murder. It's a lot of negative energy, and it's hard to have a positive outlook on life when you're constantly being bombarded with all these. There we go. You just tested my impromptu speaking abilities.
My daughter unplugged the modem.
I told you they don't get active until. So we were on filling in your corners. Now, filling in your corners, the environment that you're in, the people that you surround yourself with that you call acquaintances and friends.
That was for me. Black on Black Rhyme, like filled in my corners. I was 18 years old when Black on Black Rhyme got into me, and it was everything that I had been missing as far as like giving me a tribe. A sense of belonging. Like I said, I struggled with loneliness, like just feeling very odd. I was always just different from everybody around me, including family, and that could feel just very isolating for a young person who just doesn't know any better, and trying to figure out what my Blackness was and how to define it for myself. Because like growing up in the South, to be well read and well spoken is to not be quite Black enough, even though that's problematic. It's just the truth, it's the reality of what it was. You talk like a white girl, but then to be dark skinned with very coarse hair and for Malcolm X to be my first crush, I wasn't white enough to be around white people. Like, they were just like, you're a very strange militant Black person, and you scare me. And so it was just like, I feel like I didn't really have quite like somewhere to belong. And when I was 18 years old, I met the poets of Black on Black Rhyme, and it changed my life. It gave me a tribe. It gave me a sense of belonging and identity. And it allowed me to be comfortable for the first time in my own skin. And it saved my life.
Wow. It's so crazy you say that because I came to FAMU 18 years old and had no clue who I was. No idea. I was trying to find myself. And when I first entered Nefertari, well, Amun-Ra back then, it was called Amun-Ra. And when I first entered Amun-Ra, I said, this is where I belong. I knew it. It was a crazy feeling. And Wally B picked me up and took me to my first Black on Black Rhyme week. And that confirmed it. And over the years, I realized, us poets, we're weird. We don't fit in normal circles. We often feel like outcasts. And when we come around other poets, it's comforting. They understand us. They know what it's like to be an outcast and what it's like not to be, quote unquote, popular. It was just one of those things, And when we get it's love, it's a beautiful feeling for all us, quote unquote, weirdos to get together and live out our purpose. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
What do you feed your spirit with, Ebony?
I love. I feed my spirit with love. Like whatever that looks like. I love what I do for a living. So I get up and I go to work, even when sometimes I don't feel like it. I love what I do when I get there. So if I'm having a rough morning emotionally and I just don't have the energy, when I get there, I'm fine. So the goal becomes just to get there so that I can feed myself, so I can give myself what I need to get through that day. Quality time with my daughter, like making sure that there are moments where I put my phone away and I remove all distractions and just be in her presence. And we could be doing nothing. But playing, using our imagination, taking a walk, going to the playground. But that uninterrupted time, that is a love that I need in my life. That makes me feel purposeful. That makes me feel important. That makes me feel whole. Is just being in her life and being able to let her know that she's the center of my universe and that she is important and that she is loved and that she is cared for. Like, that feeds my soul, to be able to have the privilege of being able to make the time to do that, because everybody don't have that privilege to set everything on hold for their children. And I want to show her what that looks like. Going to a dance concert. I love dance, is my favorite genre of art. And so when I go to see people not talk and still say everything that I was feeling or thinking, that feeds me. That feeds my soul. To hear someone just excellence, Black excellence is something I love. And so anytime I can be around Black excellence, if I can see Serena play, you know what I'm saying? That's love to me. That's seeing love in action, seeing someone love something so much so that they became the very best. Like, that beats me. Seeing you solve a Rubik's Cube.
I told you we need to set up the time and the space and the energy. I got you. It's crazy you said that the love of your passion will give you the energy when you don't have the energy. I woke up feeling icky, real under the weather today, and I was in bed all day taking all different kinds of medicines and soups and culture, all this stuff. But when I got here, I was like, it almost disappears in a moment while you're in the space. And poets, you see poets who have no desire to barely, walk and get up and speak and talk. But when you get on stage, it's a freeing feeling for us, and it's where we belong. It's what heals us. It's what makes us feel better. And then also the quality time that you invest with your daughter. Parents are willing to do things for their kids that they wouldn't even do for themselves. Imagine the kids that are suffering from a lack of parental quality time just because our parents are addicted to our cell phone. We can't put our cell phones down to invest some time with our seeds and our offspring, to let them know that they are loved and cared for and adored. So thank you for that response. I'm gonna be a lot more intentional about putting my devices down so I can invest time with my babies as well. So now we're on step 4 of solving the Rubik's Cube. Step 4 of solving the Rubik's Cube. Step 4 of solving life is to take it to the next level. Now, taking it to the next level means to continue to grow, to continue to get better. We live in a world where people get content. We feel like we got to a destination where we made it, quote unquote, made it. And we don't feel the need to grow and to get better and to make progress in our life. So how do you grow? How do you get better? How do you make improvements on Ebony Payne?
I make sure that I mirror check myself every day. I check in with myself. How are you feeling? How are you really, and who are you? And just to make sure I'm the same person that I thought I was, because people change. And sometimes it's for the worse. Sometimes it's not for the better. And I want to make sure that if I am worse off than I was the day before, that I have the opportunity to correct that and figure out what's going on. So it grounds me, to be able to say, well, I could have done that differently, especially when there's conflict going on. Like, that's really how I gauge where I'm at. Is if there's a lot of conflict going on in my life, it's so easy to be like, why is everybody tripping? You feel me? But it's like I've evolved when that happens to pause and be like, the ancestors are speaking to me. And what are they trying to say? And why is there so much conflict? Because it's been said, God is not the author of confusion. I know that's a very Christian-based term, but it's a universal proverb. You know what I'm saying? Confusion is brought on by an interruption in the algorithm. And so what's happening in my algorithm? Like, why is there so much confusion and trauma? And what role did I play in that? Accountability. What role did I play in that? And then address it, confront it, correct it, and move forward. And do that daily. I try to do that daily.
Let me go to the comments right here. We got some people who so Miss Gloria Jones says, so true, entertainment before education. Gian Jones, she praised your love response. She said beautiful response. And then we have a question from you. Adrian Hopkins said, did either of you experience stage fright? If so, how do you overcome it?
I definitely I struggle with social anxiety. So it used to cause me to stutter a bit, and just like I get speechless a lot, like where I can't talk. I know what I want to say, but it's like it's not coming out. Like it takes me. And so when I first started performing, the way that I had to combat that is by slowing down, because like your adrenaline wants you to pick up the pace and go hard. But I had to like literally practice. I take 3 slow, deep breaths before I speak. When I approach the microphone, even if after those 3 breaths, I don't feel like my nerves are getting the best of me, I'll just stand there and say nothing. I won't begin until I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody think I'm being like this super spiritual person because I'm standing there with my hands like this and my head bowed. But really, I don't speak until I'm ready. Because if I open my mouth and I'm not ready, nothing will come out. Or I'll stumble over my words, and I won't feel good about the performance that I gave, because my nerves will eat me alive. So stillness is the friend of stage fright. It calms it, it lulls it, like just stillness. A lot of people talk to me about I stand in one place when I spit. I don't, use the stage, or I move my hands too much, but it's because I have to funnel my energy like straight through like that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mahogany Rose. I have to funnel my energy. Okay. All right. I have to funnel my energy straight up and down me like a lightning rod. Otherwise, it'll be spread out like that, and I won't be able to get through the poem. So yes, I go through stage fright. No, it's never gone away. Yes, it still happens. Every time I'm about to perform, I've just learned healthy coping mechanisms to deal with it, and to minimize the effects of it on my performance.
Wholeheartedly agree. I've been doing this thing called for the past 15 years. I seem like I'm almost an old head, and I know people have been doing spoken word pretty important. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I still get stage fright every time I perform. I get stage fright when I get ready to do Solve It Sundays, and it's a way where we got to channel ourselves, and we have to look within to follow that energy and that courage to get right. I do my Superman poses sometimes. You know, I do my football bouncing back and forth when I'm getting ready to get on stage, and I still get nervous. It's like you say, it never goes away. You just learn to do it. And I think that stage fright, it humbles us. It keeps us from being arrogant. It keeps us from being getting big head. You know, only 10% of the people can get on stage and speak. And you know, this, it's almost in a sense where you can kind of get the big head a little bit, but it humbles me. I enjoy the stage fright. I enjoy the stage the getting on stage and being nervous. And look within before I can get without. So thank you for that. We got Miss Isis, Miss Is. She said, Mahogany Rose said she want the mic expeditiously.
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
you know, birthday twin, you know how she is. Okay, she's like, oh, you're talking without me to people. Really?
My turn. She's probably gonna be writing in rhymes.
Mahogany Rose does not have stage fright at all. At all. She did not get that.
She doesn't.
She doesn't. She doesn't have it at all. She has no inhibitions about getting on the stage in front of people and saying anything that's on her mind. She's drawn to it. She enjoys doing it very much. She not get my stage fright.
What's crazy, Ayala would go on stage and perform. She sings her songs, does her poems, and it makes my heart smile. Thank you so much. I appreciate that because I'm a big believer in being an orator. You know, if you know how to words and use words to speak and influence the masses, you're doing something right. Yeah. He said, all right, I wasn't invited to the discussion. Your fault. let me. Everybody's invited to the discussion. Thank you for that. Thank you for this. All right. So now we're on the fifth and the final step of solving the Rubik's Cube. And the fifth and the final step of solving the Rubik's Cube is to see the bigger picture. Now, seeing the bigger picture is a metaphor for keeping our commitment to our commitments. Sometimes we experience trials and tribulations in life, and a lot of times we don't know how to deal with the trials and tribulations. People throw in the towel, but there are those who are able to turn their pain into power and use that pain and that power to do some great things. You know, be the best servants that they can be. I know for me personally, my parents passed away at a young age, and all I wanted to do was honor their legacy. I never wanted to quit. I never wanted to throw in the towel. I wanted to honor their legacy because I wouldn't even be in a predicament that I'm in if it were not for their sacrifices and their investments in me. So I want to honor their legacy and pay it forward. So, Ebony, how do you keep your commitment to your commitments?
Because I make commitments to myself before I make commitments to anybody else. Any commitment that I make to anyone else or my community is a commitment that I made to myself on behalf of that person or that community. And for the longest time, I was who I could depend on, was myself. And so the agreements that I make first with myself before I make any agreements with anyone else. So for instance, I committed to myself that I would start working out because that is a commitment that turned into a commitment to my community, right? That I would do everything within my power to be healthy and available for the current struggle that my community is going to in regards to racism and brutality in America, specifically in Jacksonville, Florida, right? So I'm working out and I'm training. I'm getting healthy and fit and learning a martial art, not because I was like, I want to be able to fight for my people. It's because I need to be able to take care of myself. And because of my commitment that I've made to myself is going to allow me to be an able-bodied participant in the fight for justice and equality in my community should it come down to that. So that's a commitment that I'm making, yes, to my community, but it stems from a personal commitment that I made to myself. The same thing comes along with me eating better, with me using eco-friendly products in my home, with me trying to limit my carbon footprint on the planet, with me personally educating my daughter to make sure that her history is accurate. The history she learns is accurate. not just that's something that a commitment I'm making to whoever her future school teacher is going to be, that my daughter will be prepared with information that she got from home. But that commitment first starts with me saying that I will raise a child who's aware of herself and her history, and what is possible for her based on facts, science, and the things that were passed down to me from previous generations. And so, like, every commitment I make to anyone started with a commitment to myself. Even if I'm going to love someone, when I choose a life partner, that partner is going to be an act of self-love, a commitment that I made to myself to find someone who makes me feel good about myself when I'm with them, not who I feel good about. You know what I'm saying? The commitment I make to that person will be because I'm making a commitment to myself to love myself enough to be with someone who encourages me to love myself, who makes me feel better about loving myself, and who makes me my highest self. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that type of thing. I don't make commitments that I can't make to myself. If I can't commit to myself, like, I can't even be nice to nobody unless I'm gonna be nice to myself that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
If I'm not gonna do good by myself today, you can put anything I say to you is gonna be probably a lie.
it's so crazy. It's so crazy you said that. I was just speaking on this. Oprah, she made a comment that in order to be full of yourself, that allows you to overflow to other people. You have to fill yourself up first before you can overflow to other people. And if yourself, your personal, if your within ain't right, and you can't push it without. So definitely thank you for that. That's a beautiful response about making sure your baby know her history. I think is one of the most revolutionary things for our young people to know our history did not start with slavery. I remember this is a story. I'm so proud of my baby girl for this. Ayana was on the playground, and I don't know how they got to talking about the color of God, but Ayana said, God is black, and God is black just like me." And it wasn't prompted. She said it. I said, "I then, baby girl," but that right there gives her the confidence. She know what she know that this is a superpower when she walking out in the world, and that changes. I remember growing up thinking I was inferior. I'm bombarded with it every time I'm going to a history class, and I never hear no positive stories about black people. It's always slavery, this and oppress this and oppress that. But we got to teach our young people that we invented all this thinking, and we invented all these. It's that kind of mentality that's truly revolutionary when we're teaching our babies to be proud of who we are and not ashamed in being black. That's why I love my natural nappy. I love it. It's who made me. It's what I am. It's what I do. And my people gave me this ability. They gave me this melanin to sit here and make a positive impact on the world. You spoke about decreasing your carbon footprint. A lot of people in the circle that I know are very cautious about decreasing their carbon footprint on the world. Why people killing our world off? We need this place. Our kids gonna be here. They're gonna inherit this world one day. We need to make sure that they are here. That
Listen,
they are
your
here. They
children inherit this society. What is wrong with you? Don't you love them?
Yeah, but that's crazy to me. It's so crazy how people are in the space of now and not the future. I'm thinking about 100 years from now. What the planet still needs to be here and still needs to be sustainable for my kids. I love my babies so much that I will sit here and make the necessary sacrifices to, leaving our carbon footprint is very convenient. It's easy to go and get the plastic and the foam and eat the horrible foods that we eat. It's very convenient, but it takes a different kind of sacrifice and an act of love to decrease our carbon footprint and put a little bit more energy into making sure that we're trying to leave a world that our children can be proud of. Adrian said, "Thanks, much love to your answers. I hope I find the courage to perform or shine my light as the two of you have done for us." Isis facts. Uh, she also, I love that. It's so important to have people around you that pour back into you. Yes,
Period,
yes.
Isis. Yes,
It's a
yes.
freeing feeling. It's a very
Yeah.
freeing feeling when you can truly be yourself around a person. You're not hiding who you are because you don't want them to be aggravated or upset. It's a beautiful, freeing feeling when you can be your 100% true, genuine self.
Yeah.
Miss another Isis, Miss is. She said, "Hey, she's a dope
Peace, Queen.
individual,
I
dope
love
person."
you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody got a lot of love for her. So, um, people act like they can just fly off to one of Cat Williams' 16 Super Earths or something. Yeah. So we have officially gotten to the point we have solved our Rubik's Cube. And we solved Rubik's Cube with Ebony Payne, y'all. Ebony Payne's 5 steps of solving the Rubik's Cube. Now, before we get ready to wrap this thing up, when we got a person of your caliber on, we need to make sure that we take full advantage of you and your wisdom while we got you. So, are there any lasting words that you want to leave to the people who are watching today?
You know, giving consideration to the times and the world that we're living in right now, I think it's important for us to understand that anywhere we go from here, we can decide. That we decide, especially with this election, everybody's so bent on getting the current president out of office that they're not even paying attention to the fact that, you know, before he was in office, these are the ills that we were facing. You know, it just so happens that he's the type of person that does not lie to the camera. You know, he's lying to us, yes. But what I'm saying is he's a liar. And he's not trying to hide that for the sake of the camera, for the sake of the watchful eye. He's being unapologetically himself, you know, and everybody's horrified at that, right? But what I'm saying is it puts us in a position for once to say, this is what we have been telling you this whole time. And I want us to say no more. Not let's find a new master who doesn't, you know, rub it in our face. I want us to say no more. No more. Like that's it. We're done. You know what I'm saying? And the only way we can do that is together. The only way we can do that is together. And I beg of us, you know, to not give people things that they did not earn, including our vote. Including our vote. And that's it. That's all I got to say.
That's So Miss Isis, she said, "How fast can you solve the Rubik's cube?" Um, let me detour answering this question. So I'm proud of the fact that I've taught over 1,000 young people how to solve the Rubik's cube, and we teach them how to solve it in under 3 minutes. So the methods I use, you can solve it in under 3 minutes. I can solve it in about a minute, about a minute. That ain't fast though. It's people out there. There's a Netflix documentary on speed cubing. People solving Rubik's cubes in 4 seconds, 5 seconds. So, and I promise you, Ebony, she mentioned algorithms. I wanted to say this earlier, but she mentioned algorithms. I don't know nothing about an algorithm. I know how to match colors. I know that the blue go to the blue side and orange goes to the orange side. And a lot of times, you know, people see these Rubik's cubes and they're like, "It's too hard. I can't solve it. Only genius can solve it." And that's true, right? But everybody a genius. Everybody got this genius inside of them. And everybody can learn how to solve it. I promise you, it's really not that difficult. It's really learning how to put the colors next to the colors. So I did want to mention that. Into the vest. I see you, D. Hate I missed it. We'll go back and watch. Yeah, so you know, when I found out that I was interviewing Ebony, I had to pull out my Sunday's finest. So you know, I couldn't.
He's stunning on the Isis. He got the bow tie and the vest. But did you see the haircut though? Give him a profile there. Give him a profile. Turn to the side. The other side. That haircut in the back, the way it did. Listen.
It needs a little touch up, but we gonna hide that part.
He trying to stun on me, Isis.
These issues have been in place. Also, remember to vote local loves. I think being in Tallahassee really taught
That's
me.
That's what I mean. Yes, locally. Yeah.
I've never been more involved in local elections than I have being in Tallahassee. And you know, Keith Rogers, our mentor. You know, he's doing an amazing thing in local politics. He's getting people who deserve to get office elected in the office. And the beauty about that is encouraging other people who, you know, our mind goes to president. Vote for president. That can change our problems.
Right.
Our local leaders are the ones who have direct influence over our lives. So those are the ones who we need to be mainly focused on and getting in the office and getting elected.
Yes.
He did.
Yes, he did.
She's making me blush. She's making me blush. Sharp as cheddar. I appreciate that. Thank you from the top of my heart. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, good people, thank y'all for tuning in with Solve It Sundays with Ebony Payne. Thank y'all
for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's an honor. I've been looking up to you since I met you. It's been an honor and privilege to know you. I'm a big fan of what you've been doing in Jacksonville. Actually, some of your mentors, mentors and mentees, but most specifically, some of your mentees are some of my favorite poets. I do this.
And likewise, you're a lot of their, you know, favorite poet or favorite person in Black on Black Rhyme that they met. Like a lot of my youth that came to Tallahassee naturally were drawn to you, Derek. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you holding that mantle. That means a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, Keith, man, he taught me to be a servant. He didn't even have to tell me what it was. I knew it was servitude. I love coming into the show and setting up the tables and getting the shirts
Yeah.
right and making sure the show needed to be organized and situated. I love doing it because it's a sanctuary for people who have no place to go. Weird people like us, who don't have a place to go. And that's why I'm gonna honor the next time I get on stage, I'm gonna honor it. I can't stand Zoom meetings. I can't stand it. But when I get back on the stage, I'm gonna take full advantage of it. Um, I had to flex my staccato game one time. Bye, twin.
Bye,
All right, y'all. Let's
twin.
talk.
Talk back.
All right,
Miss
good
you,
people.
Icy.
Y'all be great like the lakes. Be blessed like a sneeze. Peace.
Peace and
Ebony, you say
love.
'em.
Okay.